kids, welcome to Glen's Drum Emporium. This is part 5 of the refurbishing of the 1980 Gretsch kit, once owned by Lamore and Randy Tucker. For the most part, it's been a little disheartening. I keep running into damage. We're on the toms right now, but the snare and bass drums sustained lots of damage, but all repairable. Just going to take some time. The toms look pretty good. They just need some cleaning. The finishes have some scars, and not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Might just leave them all au naturel. I'm going to take everything off right now, all the hardware. So Randy loved to have pinstripe. Randy loved pinstripe drum heads, muted with even more mylar. I hate that. So these are definitely coming off. And these heads are junk. But the bottom ones are brand new. So, and that goes for all 3 toms. I have the 2 floor toms. They're in good shape. Way better shape than these were. These got die cast hoops, which is great. A little bit of a nick there. See how that's looking right there? That means that the haven't been changed in a long time. We call that the cereal bowl effect. You could eat your cereal out. They are so caved in. So these drums weren't even close to sounding as good as they could have sounded. So I'm going to try and keep all these parts separate, but they're all interchangeable. The weather is horrible today. Although it's warm, it's a cool breeze. Yeah, so you can see that I always tell when a skin's shot when you could do this. That's how heavy a hitter Randy was. He's definitely a heavy hitter. So those are junk. And we'll just put the rim here. Take the bottom one off. You figure you would change the ones you're hitting, but for whatever reason you change the bottom ones. I don't know why. And we never will know. Gretsch on their 10-inch toms and their 12s, they only have five lugs. They counter that by going with really heavy-duty die-cast hoops. As you can see, like these are heavy-duty. That's what I love about Gretsch. These are brand new. A little bit of dirt, but so, and even with the head change, the shell was not cleaned. So we'll take these out really quick. Like I say, all the lugs are the same on all the drums, the toms. I see a piece of tape on this. I don't know if you can see that. So something is not right there. It's almost like a band-aid. Look at that right here. Not sure what that is. We're going to find out right now. Oh, it's because it's broken. Something's broken on this lug. Gee, how surprising. Oh yeah. The flange is broken off. I don't know how that would happen. Yeah. Just going to put all the screws in here. We'll have to pay attention to it. So they just tape this on just to show that it's broken off. It's so corroded I can see it. So yeah, I don't think I might have a replacement. We'll see. Not good. We're off to a bad start already. Yeah, get the other ones. Oops. Put those in there. This should go relatively quick. So somebody put cotton in there, but you don't put the cotton on this side. I don't know where that went now. Oh, there it is. What you're supposed to do is take the spring out, put the cotton in behind. But, oh well. It is what it is. You end up muffling the shell, which you don't want. Might have been like that from the factory, but I've worked on lots of Gretsch and I've never seen it. But then again, I've not worked on a 1980s model, which this is 1980s. Well, I don't know. That might be the norm. I just don't know if somebody did that or what. We'll find out when we hit the other toms. Coming out pretty quick. Yeah, that looks like the norm. The other side. The reason why I use just a regular wrench and not the battery operated ones is I like to feel the tension of the screw in case it's corroded or cross threaded, so you don't make things more damaged than they are. And especially when I'm putting them back in, I like to feel like normally you torque them, but I go by feel. These are a little stubborn. Starting to rain. I should say starting to rain again. Nothing heavy. One of my favorite parts of Gretsch drums is these 10-inch toms. They sound great. So do their 18-inch floor toms. Lots of power in the 18. You can use their 18s as a floor tom. The floor tom I have is 4 legs. You can flip it on its side and use it as a kick drum. little bit of banging going on. Almost done. Sounds like I'm hitting harder than I am, but it's not. The drum's just amplifying it. Now these screws are longer, so we're going to keep those with the tom holder, just so we don't get things screwed up. And I'm going to bag everything and label things. So I can actually put these in here. I always use these little fruit cups for parts, so I'm just going to go, that's for the 10-inch tom, like that. And we'll seal that up. Oops. And just label it. So there's that one. So it's not too bad. It's weathered. When I say weathered, I should say aged. It's got the codes right in here, so we'll find out what month and day it was built. We know it's a 1980 because of this 1 year only badge. 1 year because square badge with just USA stamped in it and two-sided. You can read it both ways. So like the other tom, this bottom head is brand new. We're going to reuse those. And I'm going to buy brand new ones for the other side, which will be, I believe, white coated also. We'll see. Might go with clears for the bottom and just whites on the top. Again, the 12-inch tom, just 5 lugs. Top and bottom, so 10 total, obviously. Again, beautiful die-cast hoops. And again, hasn't been cleaned. Thing's been sitting in cases. All that dirt is from stage. Like I say, Randy just didn't clean his drums that much. I know that just because I've played them so many times over the years on stage. So we got some scars and dirt here. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like maybe just duct tape. Oh, that's really tight. This one's really tight. So I would imagine the skin is going to be another soup bowl. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at how it just dives right in. Randy played these drum heads for years on here without changing them. I understand why, because drum skins are expensive. It used to be $1 an inch, so if this was a 12-inch drum it'd be 12 bucks. Now they're double and over that now for different ones. The price of Mylar just went crazy. So yeah, so when you see a skin do that, you know it's been on there way too long. You can't tune it. Okay, so let's get this off. Bearing edges seem really excellent on all of them. I'm noting that as I go along. I'm going to put an extension on, so now we're into the bigger drums. This saves me a little bit of grief. I'm taking these off. Here he is. Let's take this. Roll this down. So we got nothing in here. There is a foam in behind which looks manufacturer, but no cotton. So we're going to make note of that. See if this drum has it or doesn't have it throughout. You don't really need a muffler on both sides of the spring, so no cotton. So somebody else has put cotton in, not knowing or not noticing that there was already black manufacturer's muffling sponge in there. But you definitely don't want cotton between the drum shell and the lug, because you end up muffling the shell. You just want it between, and you just want it in the back. Yep, same. So somebody put the cotton in afterward. This is very hard on the back. Actually, I might go a little bit lower on my stool. Save me a little grief. No cotton. I absolutely love Gretsch tom holders. I love the way this is pressed in with their logo. This is what they call the drop G. Yeah, love these, heavy duty. Oops, I missed a felt. Thread feels a little wonky on that. I'll have to investigate that. Alright. Okay, they're all taken off there. So far no issues, except for that one thread on that tom holder, but we do have one little issue. I noticed a couple of the each one of these screws has a lock washer, and I noticed a few of them have broken, so those will have to be replaced. I have a stash of them, so. That normally happens from being over tightened, and most likely that was from the factory. These have never been taken off by the look of it. Okay, shell number 2. This has what they call tom rash. That's from the snare drum hitting it, drumsticks diving into it. And yeah, so it's pretty scarred. I mean, if I was to take all the clear coat off, because a lot of this stuff is just in the clear coat, the damage, and re-clear them, it would probably look fine, except for that. That's a pretty heavy gouge. This is pretty bad. So I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. The bearing edges are absolutely beautiful. Up to Gretsch. That's Gretsch standards. Their bearing edges are phenomenal. Okay. So Randy had some muffling on here. He just loved to muffle drums. No issues. These seem to be coming out nice. And tons of dirt. Comes off nice and easy. Whoa, wow. Look at the dirt. Like I say, never cleans them. You just get to know people by their drum sets. You know, if the drum sets are... Actually, I'll take the other head off first. Yeah. Like, I just love taking care of drums. This is pretty tight, and the reason why it's tight is because the skin is so caved in. You have to tighten the outer edges to give the center some tunability, and at some point you just have to say, okay, I need new heads. But like I say, just not everybody can afford them all the time. I find pinstripe heads don't last very long. They're a double ply, and I've found that double ply heads, problem is when they glue the two plies together, sometimes you get a dud. They're not set right, and the drum won't sustain at all. It's just like a thud because the glue didn't set right. Another rim in good shape. Oh, I love those. Love those rims. So yeah, another soup bowl. But there's not a lot of dents in this one, so I can shave this outer layer off and use it as a bottom skin on some of my Christmas kits. Okay, so here we go. Just looking, I don't see issues. Now we're back to cotton in there. Well, isn't that really bizarre? Is this a quality control thing or what? Because Gretsch was going through quality control issues back in 1980. Through, I think, 79, 80, 81, and 82. They were owned by the Baldwin piano company at the time, piano and I think organ. They were losing money big time. And you ask, how does a great company like Gretsch fall into hard times? Well, it's quite simple. The Japanese market invaded in the early 80s. Neil Peart and Tama, basically the Japanese companies Pearl, Tama, they invaded the market with great quality drums at that time. They weren't always great quality, but they smartened up and their price was cheaper, and they swallowed up all the American and British manufacturers. They just killed competition for equal product at a better price. Look at this. Something totally different there. It's almost like they were using whatever. I don't know. It's kind of strange. That looked like a wool blanket kind of material. So yes, this is tedious work. The cleaning part is tedious. Look at no muffling in there. That's a quality control issue if they were putting muffling in there. Very strange. It's another thing, the Japanese drums, when they hit the big market, when they started killing the American drum companies, look, nothing. The quality control was becoming excellent. Ludwig drums really suffered at that time, but they hung in there. But their quality control in the late 70s, early 80s was horrible. So there we go. We got back to the cotton again. Oh, I see. That's why it's sticking to the drum. That's why there's no cotton. So ignore my other ignore what I said about them quality control. Okay, because it was in there, just stuck to the shell. Alrighty, last row. Whoa, that one's really loose. Is that another broken one? Let's find out. No, we're good. Very rare to see a broken Gretsch lug. The reason why I say that is this design has been around for decades, and it's heavy duty, like heavy duty. Like it's super thick. Look, the walls of this. So that broken one we found on the one tom, that's a first. And I've done a lot of fixing up of Gretsch. Never seen it. And I never seen stripped screws on Gretsch either. They're always been great. Okay. If there are any missing cotton, I'll put cotton in, I'll put fresh stuff in. I might change it all anyways, because like I say, these drums have gone through the years where they had smoking in bars, and all that stuff gets saturated with smoke smell, and I don't like it. So I want the drums to be like fresh, like they were first built. I just noticed an odd thing on one of these shells. I'm going to have a look at it when I get all these lugs off. Alrighty. So, what did I notice there? I just noticed a little bit of a couple little slivers. I don't know if you can see them. Try and get my light down in here a bit. Just a couple of slivers right there of the wood. Just getting, now that's from the manufacturer, because I believe they coat these shells and then drill them after. It's a special sealer inside. That's not a bad thing. It's under the washers anyways. So, but I just noticed it. So you can see the tag in there. You can see the letter M and then numbers after it. A lot of that has to do with I explained it in the other video that it could be the length of the shell, the color, if it was a wrap finish or a lacquer finish. This drum is in bad shape. I thought it was in better shape, but now with all the lugs off, and I just mean it's weathered. It's almost like it was left out in the cold in vehicles, because lacquer doesn't like that, and the entire finish is weathered and cracked. And I've seen guitars like this left out in cars, and it's like it was out in extreme cold. I'm not sure what that is. That's definitely a bad scratch there. That could be from a drum head. Sometimes a drum head has a little burr on it. So, I mean, these drums will clean up and you won't see this from a distance, but I can feel it, that the plies have started to, well, it looks like an old barn door, basically. It's got so much filth and crud on it, it's just not been cleaned. So I may have to oil these just to get some life back into the wood just a little bit. But other than that, the drums are fantastic. Bearing edges are just great. Bearing edges. So actually I got one little clump of dirt there. But yeah, they're beautiful. These are really thin shells, like super thin. So they should just sing, sing, sing. Okay, so no issues with the tom except for the humidity is like driving my hair nuts. The three toms are good, the bearing edges are good, the outer finishes are kind of what I expected, maybe a bit worse. I don't really want to re-strip them and do them brand new. Lessens the value when you do that. If you keep them au naturel, they hold the value, and that way you don't bugger up the color. Just one of those deals. The drum set was definitely not clean, not taken care of properly. Sorry, and from the time Randy had the kit after he passed away, and the 3 years this executor had it, it's seen some fun damage. I shouldn't say fun, it should be, I mean fun in a sarcastic way. So that's the scoop for now. Everything's taken apart. Now we're going to clean.